Hello everyone, welcome to Koleverii's Lost Ark English Guide. So originally I was going to show this, I was going to preview this guide on the 1st of November when I start streaming again. However, since we received this Risa's latest letter, which was 18 hours ago, and this letter has basically covered a lot of the things that I was covering in my English guide, and so I have decided to I was waiting to see if there's any changes in the contents, but from this letter, I found out that nothing much has changed, and so I am ready to release this English guide for any non-Koreans who would like to get into the Korean OBT, which will be on the 7th of November. So, without wasting any time, let's go ahead and look at the English guide, Kolevereii's English guide. Let's go. So I made this guys based on my experience of playing in the final CBT from 23rd of May to 3rd of June, which I was lucky to get into. And so there might have been things changed in the OBT. I have categorized the guide into these 11 chapters, and let's look at chapter number 1. Oh, by the way, please go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv.koleverii, and give me a follow if you like this guide. Yeah. So let's get into the guide. There will be bracket hangugo. These are Korean words that you can copy from this guide and paste it into the game to search for things. In bracket will be the keyboard, what keys you press, some information about some game windows, some notes, my personal observation on this game. This Hwagin is a confirm button that you'll see throughout the game, and in bracket will be page numbers in this guide, where sometimes I reference to different pages so you can jump back and forth between these pages. Chapter 2. We are going to play in the Korean OBT, and so you will need a VPN to get into the Korean server. I will be using Mudfish, and so this is a guide on how to go to how to use Mudfish here. So first you go to this website address and download Mudfish and get it installed. You need to also sign up for an account there in the Mudfish website. Once you've done that and once you've installed, what you do is you have to launch Mudfish in the administrator mode. So go click Mudfish and then click run as administrator. Yeah, so once you run it as administrator, then you'll get to the login page and you log in with your user and password. Once you've done that, if you need to go and select Lost Ark as an item, if it's not added yet, go ahead and add it. So you will get Lost Ark as an item here. Once you've done that, click on that and you will get this page. This selected Mudfish node might be something else for you in the beginning. So what you do, you click setup. Make sure it's destination server is automatically will be there, and here under basic mode, right, you have to click here and then choose one of these KR South Korea nodes. Choose any one of it, and then you have to make sure this active is on, and then you click save. Once you've done that, you will be able to see your ping, what ping I'm getting. I'm getting 84 ping, man. It's awesome, right? And another thing you have to check once to make sure that your VPN is connected is you go to start network status. You click on network status, and then you click on network sharing and center, and you should see this thing, a second network connected. Yeah. If you see that, means your VPN is working. If you don't see that, means your VPN is not working. So if we go back to the the guide, right? I've explained this here. So once you're connected, if the connection happens and you get this screen, means everything is running cool. So that is Mudfish connection. Chapter 3. You need to install this Turf client first. That's what we did in Final CBT. So you go to this website, which is this website, and then when you go here, you can download this Turf client. Once you got it downloaded and installed, if you have, you can log into your account, and then when you log in, you should see this screen. Where is it? In Final CBT, we saw this screen for login. That shows Lost Ark. Wow. So right now is nothing showing. So when Lost Ark OBT is ready, it will be appearing in one of the window here, and when you click it, it will go into this screen. Yeah, and when you're in this screen, this button here should say one of these things. game solchi, which means game installation. You need to we need to install. Now if it's game solchi, I will try to provide the game installation file in my OneDrive. If we can't, then you will have to install it from here. All right, so in order to do this installation, your Mudfish need to be in full VPN, which you can check with me later. But for now, if I was able to provide the installation files in OneDrive and you have installed it, here you should see either Chumkom Chung, which means checking if service available. This always comes out when the servers are not ready yet, right? And then this thing, updated, will appear if there's an update required. In order to update in Final CBT, we have to use full VPN. Once the update is done, then we remove the full VPN and just go into the item. And if everything is fine, you should see this and the servers are up. Eventually, we will see this thing, game sijak, means we can start the game. And when we click on this thing, you should see this game guard icon appear on the bottom right of the screen. If it appears there, it is checking your IP. If all goes well, you should hear a seagull sound, and then you will go to the opening screen of the Lost Ark, and we will be then ready to play Lost Ark, man. Hope that happens, yeah? So, Chapter 3. These are the main keys that we use when we play game. I for inventory, character, combat skill, life skill. B to switch between the combat skill and life skill. Most of the time, you'll be using G for interaction with a lot of game contents. J for general quest, social action, world map. Tab brings out the current map in the middle of the screen. N for adventures book, O expedition, F1 for life potion, F2 teleport, F3 mount, F5, F6 is for quest items. Usually it's only F5, but sometimes if there are two quests that's running simultaneously, then you'll get F6 as well. Then there's the milestone system, item dictionary, engraving, Epona's request, management. We're going to cover all that right after this. So before I get into the rest of it, let's talk a little bit about this Korean language and keyboard stickers. Yeah. Now I highly recommend everybody install the Korean language pack in Windows. As while you can copy and paste the Korean text, it's useful if you have it installed. So the step out of it is just this thing: start setting time, language, region, and then you just add the Hangugo language here, right? And if you notice here, right, let's see if I click a new tab here so that I can type. You notice here I can change this A to Ka, right? You notice this thing, right? So if you press this thing, then you can type Hangugo, right? You can type in Korean. This will be useful when we need to type Korean characters to search for items. So I highly recommend you install this thing. And I have in my keyboard, if you can see, the Korean characters. Yeah. So this allows me to type Korean faster. So I highly recommend you get this thing as well. It's pretty cheap. It'll be really useful. Next, let's look at the I key, the inventory key, right? So in Final CBT, we have 100 slots to collect all the junk we want to collect, and I would like to go through one by one about this thing. Yeah, so this key up here, you can display items by various categories when you click this thing. Yeah, and these food stuffs are usually items that will give us buffs and debuffs. And this thing with frame, these things are called battle items, which you can equip in the slot here on the action panel. Yeah, when in Final CBT, no one was helping me, and for the longest time I was wondering what the hell are these things, what are these things, you know. Man, you guys are going to with this guide, it will be easy for you. Whenever you see things with frames like this around them, these are battle items which you can equip on this slot here. You can only equip 4 of it at a time. Next, you see some treasure maps. These are feathers of resurrection. If you die, if you have one of these feathers, you can resurrect. Some treasure maps. Now these things here, you see the things with these small bags here, these are complete garbage meant to be sold. I was hogging my inventory with a lot of these things because I didn't know what it was in Final CBT. So these are basically trash. You can just sell them for some shillings. We'll cover shillings later. And here, this button here, Punhe, this opens up a decompose window where early in the game we might get gears that we don't need anymore. We can use this thing to decompose them, and then we can later sell off those decomposed things. We will get more into this later in page 41. This is the main action bar, and this item, this needs to be a special mention of this item. This strawberry cupcake gives 5% increased chance to get magical items. So always have this in your inventory, and right before you kill some big boss or monsters that drop immediate loot, quickly consume this thing and then kill it, just to increase your chance of getting more loots. Let's move on to combat skills. So there are 8 combat skills that we will use at any one time. So Q, W, R, S, D, A, F, and then C activates the awakening skill, which we need to do a quest when we are level 50 to get this thing. So and you need this item, pieces of chaos, Ondon e Choga, to use this Kaksong awakening skill. This one you can just buy it from some vendors in main series. So spacebar is for a quick dash. X and Z activates your special energy resource. So each character class will have unique energy resource. Interestingly, this is from Gigongsa, the Soul Master, only uses Z instead of X. But some other characters like Devil Hunter will have both X and Z that can be used. The F1 is to use healing potion. 1, 2, 3, 4 is to activate the battle items that you have equipped. F2 brings up the teleportation and music window, which we will get into more later. And F3 basically mounts and dismounts from the mount that you have. And then there's life skill. So on the bottom left of your screen, you can always see these 2 things. This is for combat skill, this is for life skill. You can always switch back and forth between this combat and life skill by pressing the B button. So if you let's say you're running on a field and you quickly need to harvest something or kill, do a hunting, quickly switch to B, and then you can use the skill activated here. Next, F2 brings up this screen sheet music, and so this particular music, this first music, we will get it as part of the quest. This teleports us out of dungeons and islands back into a ship. This is like one of the features that really impressed me when I saw Lost Ark for the first time in CBT2 last year. That teleporting back to somewhere is by playing music. It was such an awesome concept, and I still really love this thing. It's awesome. This second music, we will also get it as part of a quest. We need to play this music sometimes in some quest when we want to raise morale of people. The third one, we will get it as well as part of our quest. This music will take us to Trishon, where we will meet Beatrice, one of the angels you see her in the trailer as well. And whenever we get the arc, we need to go and pass it to her. So this is also where we test our tripod system in page 30, which we will get into later. So then there are a lot more music sheets that we can hunt down, and we will look at more of them in page 85. And you can, so whenever you select the music to play them, you click this Yonju to play the music. Then F3 is first to select the mount that we have equipped. So there are various kinds of mounts. We need to collect all of them as part of our quest. Then as I mentioned earlier, F5 and F6, it is so easy to miss. Make sure you look at the quest tab here, and if something appears like that, F5, X6, then you need to press that in order for you to move on with the quest. In Final CBT, There were many times I got stuck somewhere and didn't know what happened because this thing was appearing there, but I didn't know that I need to press it, you know. So now you know. If something like this appears when you're playing the game, then you need to press it there. Yeah. Next, Jay brings up this quest journal. So those quests that you have activated will appear in this journal here. And if too many of them are appearing, you can uncheck mark them here so that your screen is not filled with quests. So, and just focus on those quests that you want to do. And each quest that you click here will show you what are the rewards that you're getting from it. If you do not like the reward, it is not that rewarding, you can actually click this thing, Pogi, to cancel the quest. And if you want to know where you need to go in order to do that quest, then you click this button here, Wichibogi, to and it will bring up the world map, which we'll get into later, and show you exactly where you need to go to get that quest done. Then Y brings up this unique social action window where you can click on this thing to interact with the situation. This is heavily used in the favorability system, and so you can just click these buttons and your character will perform the action. But if you have the Korean keyboard installed, the language pack installed, you can just type this slash and this character here in the chat bar, and your character will do the same thing. Like for example, this slap chum means dance, and your character will do the dance. P then brings up the character profile. So this was my character profile from the final CBT. So over here are the main equipment: helmet, shoulder, chest armor, pants, glove, and this is weapon. So this is weapon. And over here are the life skill equipments that you can put in here. This this is the mount. This here shows your item level. It's basically an average score of all your gear and your accessories. So the accessories being a necklace, 2 earrings, and 2 rings. And here is an ability stone, polished, which we'll talk about it more later. And here it shows your main character statistics. So for fighter class and warrior class, it will be strength, him. For hunter class, it will be agility, and the magician class is intellect, kinan. And then there are these secondary attributes, which we just saw from Risha's letter now, that this harmony that was in final CBT has been changed to weakening, cheap, weakening, and we'll talk more about this on page 28. And over here it shows ring engraving effects, which we will talk more later as well. So this item level here also determines what contents you can do sometimes. So we will talk more about the contents later. Now, one thing to note is that whenever you find a better equipment than what you're wearing, you will see a blue sign arrow here that shows that this is better, so you can equip it straight away. And also always make sure you press alternate button for rings and earrings, because there's 2 of them. So you need to check if the current one that you get is better than both of those currently in your the one that you're wearing. And in a lot of quests you will get this rainbow colored potion. So this potion basically increases 10 stat points of your main stat, this strength, intellect, or agility. Yeah, it'll increase 10 permanently. And this red one here, it will increase your health permanently by 10. So we will get a couple of this while we are doing the main quest. So whenever you get this thing, to consume them, just right click it on your inventory and it will be consumed. Now right beside this main character profile screen, on over here you will see these 2 tabs. Now the top tab is Sangse Chongbo, brings up detailed information on your attacking power. So rough translation of these things: damage, weapon damage, elemental damage, weapon elemental damage, additional damage, attack speed, hit ratio, critical enchant damage, physical resistance, magical resistance, and a few more of these attributes. You can see most of these attributes on page 51. It has to do with increased damage to things like humans, monsters, plants, and stuff like that. So there's a long list of it that you can see. And then at the bottom one here refers to presets, right? So you can set different gears, like you're wearing this one set of gear, and if you want to save this for, let's say, PvE content, then once you're wearing all the equipment, click this button and it will preset all the items here, and then you can label it as a PvE, and then you can have another preset as well, PvP or boss guardian raids, such like. So this preset is very useful. You need to click this thing to store the current item as the preset, and this button is to use it. Like, so you want to switch back and forth between if you want to switch back and forth between presets, this is the button that you click. This is to save the thing. Let's talk about tendency now. So next to the item equipment Changbi, there's Songhyang. Songhyang means tendency, and there are 4 traits: intelligence, courage, charm, and kindness. This affects our favorability with a lot of the NPCs, and we want to increase these things, right? So when we do certain actions in the game, this figure changes, and there are also potions that we can drink that will increase this as well. And so this blue potion, if you get it, this will increase intelligence. Purple one, courage. This red one, charm, and this green one increases kindness, right? So we can actually look for different types of quests in order for us to do this thing. Now, for example, I have an example here. Let's say we run into some quest, and then when we go and meet the NPCs to get the reward, sometimes they will have this red thing here that comes out in one of the choice of reply. So in this particular choice, it needs 100 kindness. So the kindness, if it's not enough, it will appear in red like this, right? Now, ideally, before there will be different answer for you to select, but ideally you want to select this one, because this answer, if you can select it, it will give you a better reward, right? So if something like this happens, then don't continue the conversation with the NPC. Cancel it by pressing this thing, Nagagi, and then you could go and look for quests that will get you more kindness, that will get you more of these green potions. Do 10 of these quests, drink all the potions. When your kindness is 100, then you come back to the NPC, and then you select this answer. You will get cool reward. M produces the world map, a picture of the world map. It doesn't look like this. It looks a little different in the actual screen. But I use this thing this screen to show the various continents that we explored in Final CBT. Shire, Artatine, Bern, the entire Artemis and Lutheran, Anich, Rondel. So I have provided a short the Korean name for these various continents here, so that's easy for you to refer in the game. If you see this word appearing somewhere, it refers to Artemis. And there are some contents that happen particularly in these different continents. For example, this Artemis here is where we start all of the adventure after level 10, right? We all will be gathered here. In the beginning, the different classes like fighter will start in Anich, hunter will start in Artatine, warriors will start in Chushaya, and magician will start in Rondel. The 2 new classes that has not been revealed, we are not sure where they will start from. Probably in Bern and another continent here that's not mentioned yet to be seen. So all of us will start our level 1 in these different continents. But once we hit level 10, all of us will start together in this Artemis, and then we will adventure from east to west in the main quest storyline. In the Lutheran city there's a few, these are a few special events that happen in these various cities that we'll get more into later in the guide. Now let's look at this map feature area. So when you press M, this comes out. So over here are the various continents that you saw earlier, and over here are the various section, various locale in that main map that you can search through. Most of the time we use in Final CBT, we use this to look for treasure maps, right? So you can even also type the name of the NPC over here. So again, if you want to type it here, you need to be able to type in the Korean letters to be able to type here to look for the various things, right? So this here is a very important mark feature. You can click on this thing and then drop a pin anywhere in the mark, so that if you are in a party, your party members know where to go, where to meet in a map. So this is that pin location. This when you click this thing, it shows where you are in this map, and this brings up the world map. Now if you see this thing on the map, it means this particular map have various levels that you can go in and out. For example, in this particular map, if I'm not mistaken, this Shutaran, yeah, Shutaran in the Argentine continent. So if you see this here, these are like the stairs where you can go to the various levels. Yeah, and this is called the square hall. This is the teleportation portal, where whenever we go to a new map, make sure you activate this teleportation portal so that we can jump to it more easily next time. Now alternate L brings up one of the most important feature of the game, which is the item dictionary. This is so important, guys. So this is the feature that we use to look for a lot of things in the game, anywhere from engraving books to looking for particular material to do crafting. We will use this thing, we'll use it a lot, right? So again, in order to use this, you need to be able to type in Korean here or copy and paste here. Once you have typed here, you click on this button here, ComSec, to do the search. So when you do the search, it will bring up various things that has the same name as this thing, and from there, when you click on this particular item, it will show you where you can go and obtain this item, right? So if you click on this thing, the triangle thing that here, it will actually show you in the map where to go. So this is very important. Now if you can't type here, or if you would like to browse by categories, I have listed here the things in English for quick reference. If you're looking for engraving, if you're looking for cooking items or whatever, yeah. So this is very useful, and we're going to use this a lot. Next, we're looking at Adventures book, Mohomgai So. Now this is what Risha has covered a little in the latest Risha's letter. So she has covered a lot of it. Let me cover some things that she has not covered. Yeah, in fact, I prepared this way earlier last time. So whenever you get these kind of items with these small icons that look like pages on them, these are the ones that when we click on them will accumulate and fill up this thing. So this, when you press N, this is the screen that appears for different continents. So this per continent basis, yeah, continent specific. So when you get these things, right click on them in order to consume them or use them, and then it will fill up these things. And then there are various unique items, like most of these things at the bottom row here. These are like foods that we need to consume in that continent. Some of this food we can just find it and consume it. Some of it we need to find raw material for it, and then we bring it to a cook in the city, and the cook will then cook the thing, and then we consume the item to complete this adventure, these requirements. So as we complete these various requirements, this percentage of it goes up, percentage of completion. Now based on this percentage of completion, we get these rewards here, right? So we need to find these things, and we need to, these are viewpoints that we need to look at. These are some dungeon, quest dungeons that we need to complete in that particular continent. There's normal mode and hard mode. We need to complete it in hard mode to get the full points. There will be some field bosses on some continents, and then there are some unique monsters in that continent. These unique monsters will have this icon above their head. So if you ever see a monster with this icon right above their head, kill them. Right? And then these are various secret hidden stories that are in the in that particular continent. Each of these may have like 2 or 3 chapters of them. So I have a guide on where to look for all these secret things. So the current idea is that when we're actually playing the OBT, it's really good if you have a second monitor so that you can watch the stream and then follow me along while we complete these secret stories. Yeah, and this is a favorability of the particular NPCs in that particular continent. So we need to achieve full favorability. This I think is going to take the most number of most time. The rest of this continent we may be able to do it fast, but this favorability is going to take a long time to finish. And this is just square house. As long as you activate the square house in that continent, you will get this achievement. Yeah. Next, let's look at expedition point. Now I had no idea about this thing in final CBT, but when we press O, this thing comes out. This is the expedition points that we collect here. So this expedition point, it turns out, is basically just very simple. All we need to do is just play the game. For example, like when we collect X number of ceiling, we get some points, some expedition points, right? So for like in this case, if you collect up to 100,000 shillings as part of playing the game, then you will get full points. Also Mokoko seed, if you collect up to 50 Mokoko seeds, then you complete the collection points. So as we collect more and more points here, various things opens up to us. I think the most interesting one is this at level 30, we get actually a crew for our ship. The rest being like a wall screen paper for our login screen. So it's cool, it's something. So this is expedition points. Next, let's talk about the milestone system. This is one of the cool feature in this game, this Lost Ark, is this system, Alternate G, will show you what current level you are and then show you what content you need to do in order to go to the next level. So in final CBT, the gear progression is every time just 5 item level up from your current level. So if I'm 265, most of the content that I do will actually basically get us to 270, right? So from 270 to 275. So every time is just 5 gear level progression, which is awesome. So we need to do a lot of content, and it will suggest different things. You know, these generally to get better items, and then like particularly better shoulder, better earrings. So there are certain dungeons that will give just earrings. So you will surely get earrings. So that is what it will be suggested here. So this is so cool. We'll use it a lot. And so for example, let's look at one of it. So when we click on one of it, you will see this screen. And then so what are the various things? I like to explain what are the various things shown here. So here it will show what is the item level that you need to be in order to even attempt this content, right? So if you're not at that item level, you'll probably get murdered if you go there. So it will show you, like it will suggest to you what prior content you should do before you attempt this content. It's cool. It'll actually recommend you some things to do first. And here it shows a possible reward you will get if you complete this content. And here it's suggested what are the items that you might need, battle items that you might need in order to attempt this content. What engravings you might need, what rune stones you might need. We will cover all this later, guys. The engraving, the rune stones later. So it's really cool, this part of it, the milestone system. Now you can also sort this milestone system. So the earlier one was this tab. Now you can also sort it by this tab. This tab basically shows you the entire list of contents in Lost Ark. Guys, this is what we are going to do. This is basically the end game. There's so many things to do in Lost Ark, and we'll do them all. We'll have fun, guys. So chapter 4, currency. So there are many currencies in Lost Ark, and I think some of the new currencies are now called item tokens instead of a currency. So they will apparently they'll appear in a separate I don't know, category by themselves or what. So these in Final CBD, these are the main currencies appear on top here, and these are the four main ones in my opinion. First is the crystal. So we use this crystal to reset our tripod system and combat skills, right? Apparently now in the new cash shop that might set up, this is the crystal that we are going to be buying to use it for various things. So it'll be interesting to see how this happens in OBT. And this shilling here is the main currency that is paid to us when we complete quests, and we get a lot of this by killing regular monsters. So if you farm by just killing regular monsters, you'll get a lot of this shilling. Now the most precious of the currency here is the gold, because gold is the only one that can be used in the auction house, and gold is the only currency that we can exchange with each other, which I will show you later. More of this later, right? And this last one here, this is called the Lupion seal, Lupion Injang. So it translates to Lupion seals. So some people call it Lupion tokens. I'll just call it Lupion seals. Right. So this is like a common currency in Lost Ark, where we can exchange it for items, and we get a lot of this thing by when we do a regular quest of it. So for example, like here now you can exchange the Lupion seals for some new weapons. You will find vendors to do this thing. Now at this point I would like to talk a little bit about the channel. In this channel, Twitch TV Koleverii, I have also set up a channel currency. I call it Lupions. So every 10 minutes you're in the channel, you will get one Lupion. As a support for my channel, what I'm giving for my supporters, my channel, is that when the game launches in OBT on 7th November onwards, and when I have enough gold, daily I will do random gold giveaway. As you know, gold is the most important currency, and you can exchange whatever Lupions that you're collecting in my channel at a ratio of 1-to-1 from me if you win the random gold giveaway. So you are free. I invite you, if you're free when you're online, just lurk in the channel, watch or lurk in the channel, and keep earning those Lupion seals. And also, if you manage to collect 1,000 Lupion seals, then you'll become a regular in the channel. And as a regular, you'll be able to join my guild, which we'll talk about later in page 37 later. Yeah, so that's just a quick update. Pirate coin is another interesting currency. We only get this from the sea adventure. We'll talk more about sailing later, but whenever you are sailing around in the sea, there'll be things to pick up, stranded sailors to help. When you help them, we get some pirate coins, right? And you can use these pirate coins to buy more ship crew who have various abilities that can upgrade our ship. You need to use the pirate coin also to buy various upgrade materials to upgrade our ship, right? Now, so one way to get the pirate coin is by just sailing around picking up things from the sea. Another way is that while we are sailing around, we can net fishing, do net fishing and catch a lot of this stuff like shrimps, fish and whatever. And these things, you can sell them to merchant ships on some ports. You'll see these blue icons. So go and check out with them. They may be buying this thing for these kind of these are basically just bags, pirate coin bags. So the green ones will give you 5 pirate coins, the blue ones will give you 10 pirate coins. So when we sail, we're gonna catch all kinds of things and sell them to get pirate coins, because there are some adventure here that will need up to 1,000,000 pirate coins. So we need a lot of pirate coins. So let's collect them all. Ah, Mokogo seed. What the hell are these Mokogo seeds? Oh man, playing in Final CBT, there was these things around and we were picking them up like we had no idea what the hell is this thing? What the hell did it was for? Only until after the video review, we finally found out what is this Mokogo seed for. So there are a lot of Mokogo seed hidden everywhere, so you need to press G in order to collect them. Once you collect them, so we will only know what is this Mokogo seed for when we reach Totoik, the continent of Totoik. And then we'll meet up with this old guy. His name is Tatama. And he is the only guy, NPC, who exchanges the Mokogo seed for various items. Various cool items. So 50 Mokogo seed, we'll get some crystal. 100 Mokogo seed, we get a new crew. This is ship crew. This is a wallpaper. This is another ship crew, if I'm not mistaken. More crystals. More ship crew. I think we're getting a lot of crystals. And also these are cards. Carmine card. Oh man, 500 will get a card. The Carmine, the main antagonist of Lost Ark, Carmine card. So we want to be collecting a lot of Mokogo seeds. So we've got a guide on where to find these Mokogo seeds. So during OBT again, when we play, if you can follow us around, if you can watch my stream and follow me along, we will try to collect all the Mokogo seeds in every continent. So you can see listed here each continent how many Mokogo seeds there are and how many we have collected so far, and they spawn at the same location. So if I find a Mokogo seed somewhere, chances are you will find it at the same place. So during OBT, follow me around so that we can hunt down all these Mokogo seeds. And how many Mokogo seeds you have will be shown whenever there's a scene change. It will show like this 44, no? And this Heart of the Island. Next, we'll talk about Heart of the Islands right after this. So this is Mokogo seed. Now let's talk straight away about the Heart of the Island. This is another cool adventure. Every island in Lost Ark will have something called Heart of the Island, and you need to do some of this island will have purple quest in order for you to get it. Some of the islands you will need to do certain things and collect certain number of things and then exchange it with one NPC for a chest or a bag, and in that chest or bag you will find the Heart of Island. Like for example, I can think of one chicken island. Oh man, we need to kill a lot of chicken. I'm talking about thousands of chicken in order to collect the feathers and finally exchange them for a chest for this Heart of the Island. Some islands is pretty easy. Just do a simple quest and you'll get Heart of the Island. There are even some small islands where you need to have the life skill of archaeology. Only when you have that can you detect the chest. You dig it out and then you'll find Heart of the Island in that thing, in that chest. So it's going to be a real grind, but this Heart of the Island is really worth it, because you know, when you collect 5 you get something. Forgot what that thing is. 10 you get an item. That this item is a favorability item, which we'll talk about later. Some gears. Now this thing is called the Senghwal Point Mulyak. It's a life skill point, which we'll talk more after this. So this is something that we really want to do, guys. We want to sail to all the islands and collect all these Heart of Islands. And once we've collected them, we need to go and meet this old guy. He's in an island over here. It's called the Lonely Island, Weraun Som. And we need to go to this deity here and pass the Heart of the Islands to her for some blessing. There's some flashy animation. And then we go to this old guy and exchange a gift for the amount of Heart of Island that we have collected. Now, when we sail around, you will see this icon when you point to some islands in the map. If it shows green, means you've already collected the Heart of the Island from that island. If it shows red, means you have not collected. And you can also see here sometimes, right, the item level you need to be in order to attempt to collect the Heart of the Island from that particular island. quickly covering this thing. This is called in the continent of Bern, they use this unique currency called the Adventures Gilma Mohomga Kilde Chengpyo, right? And this coin can only be used in Bern. And then if you go to this Malania village, there is an NPC there called Rapin, where she will sell this health potion. This is the best health potion in the game, and you can buy one health potion per Adventures Guild mark per one. So make sure you go there. So in this map, you go there and meet her and buy all this. Basically, spend all this guild mark and buy this health potion. This is the best one. Now let's talk about combat skill. The main reason we are playing a MMO ARPG game, combat. So there are already a lot of resources that covers combat skills and tripod setting in the internet, from Google Docs to some various websites. So feel free to use any of them to learn about this thing. So I have not covered that here. Personally, I prefer to use this website, lostark3.ru, made by Askin, which looks like this. And what I like about this thing is that you can choose a skill and choose a tripod setting that you would like to use. And what it does is that it calculates the amount of points that you want that you will use. So you can press this one, and then let's say I just select one of this thing, add it, and let's say this skill I want to add 2 of the tripods. So you can see how many lives, points that you have used up, and what are the skills. So for example, let's say, let me choose this thing. So from here you can figure out, okay, I want to use this for my 4 top keys, you know. And then let's say I select this and this, and maybe tripod this thing. This is just example here, guys. This is not the actual skills that are supposed to be used. How many points I've used? I've used 124. I can, let's say, let me try these 2 for this particular skill, and okay, that's so these are the 4 main skills that I want to use and how many points that I've consumed. So let's talk about points now. In final CBT, when each level gives us 4 tripod points, combat skill points. Yeah, so when we reach level 50, all of us had at least 200 points to be used for the tripod setting. Now along the way, we also did some quests that gave us this particular potion, skill point potion, right? So whenever we drink this potion, whenever you get it in your inventory, just right click it and you will drink it. Right, so it will then increase your combat skill potion, combat skill points by 4. So you can then distribute these points for your tripod setting, right? So at the end of final CBT, I had 216 because, as you know, 200 for leveling up to 50, and I think I did 4 quests that gave me 4 points each, 4 of these potions. So I drank them, so I get 216 points, right? So that is skill point. Now there is another potion that you will get, this one, right? So this in final CBT is used to reset this tripod setting. So once you have assigned this points and you have confirmed using this button, Chochang, once you have confirmed it, you cannot change the points distribution anymore unless you have a resort potion, right? So we can reset the tripod point distribution either using a potion, or it can also be done by crystal that we saw earlier, that apparently in OBT we should be able to buy from the cash shop. But we also read that we can even change this using shillings now. So I guess they are removing the crystal and allowing us to use shilling to reset these points. How much it will cost, we don't know, so we'll find it out in OBT. So there are 3 levels of this tripod. It's called tripod, right? Now let's take a look at this thing. So In order to maximize a tripod, you will need, as you can see here, 48 points, right? The first tripod is 4 points, second is 20 points. To maximize a tripod, you need 48 points. So 216 divided by 48 is 4.5, which means we cannot tripod all these 8 skills in final CBT. We read in the Risha's newsletter that they might increase this thing to more. We don't know. So as per final CBT, we can only tripod 4 of the 8 skills, right? So my general guide on how to distribute these points will be to max out 4 of your most damaging skills, and then give 4 points to at least all the skills. So you open up the first tripod, at least you open up the first tripod, and then remaining points to other skills that gives you some dash skill, some escape skill. And then let's talk a little bit about some skill mechanics, right? So whenever you look at a skill in whenever you look at these skills, sometimes you will see they have some effects, buga hyokwa, right? So these are the various Korean effects in Korean that you can see, and the translation of it: penetration, weakening, back attack, destruction, damage, immunity, and CC immunity, right? So especially this weakening, right? Mulyokwa. Sorry, not Mulyokwa. Mugyokwa. There is various levels to it: low, medium, high, very high. Usually the melee characters are very high, and ranged characters will have it low. Now what these particular skills do is that they will reduce this purple gauge that you see under elites and monsters, right? So whenever you use these skills, apart from just reducing the health of the boss and elites, it will also reduce this blue gauge. Now once this blue gauge is empty, then we will stun the elite or the boss, and they'll go into a stun mode. We can then do heavy damage to them. And so you also need to pay attention to these back attack skills. When you go behind them and do damage, I've calculated that you can do up to 40% more damage. So you need to be aware of what skills you're using and your position in relation to the boss in order to maximize your damage, right? And so over here, if you look above here, this is a skill preset. You can click here and then type what skill preset, you give it a name, and then you save it. And so then you can see the skill presets here. So if you have saved like various points into a skill preset, then you can just change back and forth between these different presets without any cost, right? So you will only need to pay shilling or the potion if you want to redistribute these points. If you preset it already, then you can just switch it back and forth without having to pay anything. So this will be very useful. To test all this combat skill, we need to go to Trition. When we press F2, remember F2 is the music one, and we play the third music, it will teleport us to Trition. When we meet Trition, when we go to Trition, we have to talk to Beatrice and select this particular option. When you select this option, it will then give you this menu, and using this menu, we can test out all our skills. So in Trition, you can max out the points for all your tripod skill, all your skills here, and then you can just drag them one by one into your the action bar and test it out at full tripod, every effect of it. So you can summon monsters, you can even summon bosses, and to test how the skill works on a boss, you can summon various a number of normal monsters and test some skills, especially skills like you want to group them together before you want to attack them. So you can reset. So use this Trition, go there to fully test out the skills that you want to use, and then lock them up, lock them all in presets so they can quickly switch it back between these presets when you do various contents in the game. For example, like if you're doing normal farming or you're fighting a boss or PvP. Next, let's look at life scales. Now, when I first saw this in Final CBT 2, I was so amazed with this thing. And when I played it in Final CBT, I really enjoyed this content, but I did not really properly min-max the skills. But in OBT, we will do awesome. So I want to explain this thing. So there are 6 life skills in Lost Ark: plant collection, wood cutting, mining, hunting, fishing. I think Risha covered some of this in her latest letter. So you equip these items in the character profile window, and when you press L, it brings up this life skill menu. So life skill will have its own point, just like combat skill. Every life skill level you get 4 points, and you can distribute it to various life skills that you want to do. Now, distribution of point is you do by pressing this thing, clicking this button. So you will, whenever we want to use this life skill on some content, it depends on the rank. So as you can see, there are up to 4 levels of rank here. The final rank here depends on 2 things. One is the amount of points we have allocated to this particular skill. So for example, this skill, I have allocated enough points for it to make it to rank number 2. So it's 2 here. And then it also depends on the equipment that we are using to perform that life skill, right? Whether it's the level of the glove, the eggs, the pickaxe, the fishing rod, or shovel. Yeah. So in Final CBT, there were 2 level of items only. One is the green. The green one will give us 1 extra level, and then there's a blue one. The blue one will give us 2 extra levels. So in this case, 2 rank plus 1 glove, green glove, equals to 3. So rank number 3. So what this 3 signifies is that whenever you look at plants to collect, for example, it will actually show you the rank of the plant there. So if you are at level 3 and then the content is at level 3, then you can harvest that item successfully. Now, if we don't have rank level 3, let's say I'm just rank level 2, we can still harvest item rank level 3, but we will just get garbage. We will not get the real level 3 items. Yeah. So always check to make sure what is your rank level before you harvest anything. Otherwise, you'll be like what I did, pointlessly harvesting high level contents, but if you don't have enough rank, you'll be just harvesting garbage. Now, along with this rank, there are also various abilities that you need to allocate point to in order for you to get extra benefit. Yeah. So a complete description of this has been done by a member, Mr. Maldas, and this is so awesome. No, really thankful to Maldas for providing this thing. I'll be using it a lot in OBT as well. So if you can see, if you allocate to these various things, you will get some additional ability when you harvest, when you use this life skill. So to cut the long story short, it is so much better for you to specialize in one particular life skill than to allocate points to all life skills, because you can allocate some points until you are rank level 2 for all the skills, and then use glove, the blue glove, so that you're at rank 4, and most of the items is at cool items, it's at rank level 4. However, if you do that, you will not have enough points to activate all these special abilities. Yeah. So my advice for you will be just to allocate 1 point to all these skills, but choose one of these life skill to specialize in, and then and allocate all your points to that particular life skill so that you can harvest items at the highest life skill. For example, this level here, usually when you harvest something or when you're mining something or fishing something, allows you to get a giftable items that can use for favorability as well, right? So if we look at Melda's document, you see here 5 chance to receive an additional materials when gather mushroom, or the giftable items here, chance to find gift item in plant gathering, or even in here multiple items, or even mining, chance to find giftable items upon crafting. So I would highly advise you to specialize in one life skill instead of distributing point to too many life skill. And there are a lot of quests that we can obtain this potion, Senghwal point Mulya, Senghwa life skill points potion, right? So we want to do all of these as well in order for us to highly improve our life skill. Let's look at some user interface things that we'll have to pay attention to while we play the game here. So whenever you see an NPC with an exclamation mark on top of their head, it means they have a quest, and question mark means we have already completed the quest and we just need to go and meet the NPC to collect our rewards, right? So this information table will appear on the right hand side of the game screen. It will show what are the current quests that we are on, and if you click on this arrow key here, it will show you where in map that we need to go in order to get this quest done. Now some of these quests will have a few objectives to complete, and when we complete the objective, it will check mark like this. And so they have this. The type of quest that we're doing will also be shown here in various colors. I believe Risha has covered more of these in the latest newsletter. So if you want to know more about it, please look at Risha's letter. There are some things that I would like to cover here. Another part of the user interface. In the chat window on the bottom left, these are the various choices that you can select. It will all be in Korean, so this is a guide for you to see what these things means, right? So this ilban means normal, Chiok means area. So if you select this to chat, your chat can be seen by every other player in that general area. The green one is guild, only guild members can see the chat. The blue one is party. In Final CBT, the maximum number of party people is 4, so only your party can see this thing. And then the pink one is, of course, we whisper directly to a friend. Yeah, I would highly recommend you do not say anything in normal and yellow ones, because this guide is for English players, so we do not want to talk too much in this because it's a Korean OBT, so we do not want to disturb their conversation. So I highly recommend just talk in guild, party, or just whisper between the English players. Yeah. Now, this is another menu that you'll get when you right click on a player's name. So the top part here is to you can view the character's profile that we saw earlier. The second option is to whisper to the player. Third one is to invite the player to party up. So you want to start a party. This one, Chingu Chuga, means you want to add that player as a friend. This one, this option is you want to block that player if they are bugging you. And final, this one is just just to cancel the selection if you do not want to select anything. Yeah. Now, if you are in the open world, then so this might appear when you're in town. If you're in open world and if you click on random player, you might get 2 of these things as well. So this one is for you to do trade with another person, right? So if you right click on this thing when you're standing next to each other, so in order for this to work, you need to be standing next to each other, and you shift right click on the player's avatar, and then you will get this window. Yeah, so this window is for us to exchange items between each other, trade with each other. And so you just drag and drop whatever item that you want to give to that player, and that player will drag and drop it here. And once both of you are done, just click this button in order to exchange it. And so here comes the thing. This is where we can give each other gold. So you see, gold is the only currency that we can give each other. So in the gold giveaway, when in run and gold giveaway, if you happen to win the giveaway, and if you happen to be near me, this is the option that we'll use for me to give some gold to you, the amount of gold we want. Yeah. And then there's also this one more option in the open world. This is for you to request a confrontation, basically a PvP, anywhere in the open world, not in town, but out in the open world. Instead of going to an arena for PvP, this is just like one-to-one, just for fun confrontation to see who is stronger, right? So you can do this thing, and this will depend on the other person actually accepting your confrontation. If they do not accept it, you can't do PvP with that person. So this is just something fun to do in the open world. Now this is another option that will be very important when we fight field bosses, when 30 of us are in the screen trying to bring down one field boss, and the screen might start really lagging because of all the battle effects of 30 players at the same time, right? So in order to improve the game, what you need to do is you press escape, and then you choose this Korean word which means preference, and you go to this POSI display, and you uncheck this thing. Yeah, so this is to display battle effects of our friends or the group of people in the screen. So uncheck this thing and then click login, confirm, so that the game will only display your effects and not everyone else's effect, and thereby improving the lag of the game. Next is the convenient feature of sending and receiving mail. So whenever you're in a map and you see this red post box, you can go to that post box and then send or receive some mail. So this is receive, this is send mail. So when you receive mail, check the mail that you have received, and then when you click on this thing, it will actually show you what are the attachments you have in that mail, and you click this Modu Baki to receive all the items into your inventory. So hopefully people send you a lot of mails with this kind of cool attachments. And if you want to send a mail, click this second one, and then you can type the recipient ID here, the character name, title of the email, type some body, and you can also attach items that you want to send to them, drag and drop. And here's the most interesting part, these two options, right? So here is this first one is if you want to send some gold with your mail to the other person to give them gold. And here, this one, Tekam Tongu, is to ask for gold. So let's say you want to sell some item to somebody, you attach it here, and then you request for certain number of gold. If they cannot, when the other person open this thing, they have to pay that number of gold in order to be able to open that mail and receive the item. If they can't, then they will not be able to open the mail and get the item, right? So this I intend to use this feature here also to send, if let's say somebody wins a giveaway but they're not online or they're not immediately in the area that I'm in, then I will go to that area, I will go to a mailbox and then just mail you the gold. So let's say if you win the gold, 500 gold, I will mail you the gold. You can just go to the nearest post office that you have in wherever continent that you're in and collect the gold. So this is a very convenient feature. We come to the joining guild part. So in OBT on November 7th, once we reach level 30 in the game, we will be able to create a guild, and I am going to set up a guild called the English Speaking Players ESP Guild, because it's a Korean server and we are all English speaking players there. So however, in final CBT, as you can see here, a guild can only consist of 30 members, you know. So I heard rumors that it may be upgradable to 100 members, but we don't know at this point until we get further letter from Risha or whatever. So if it remains like this, only 30 members per guild, as much as I would like to invite all my followers, channel followers into the guild, but there's only 30 members. So I have decided that only I have to reserve the spot for the subscribers and regulars of this channel. Yeah. So now all followers of the channel will still be able to play with everyone using our Discord server, which you will find the link below this video. Yeah. So as long as you join the Discord server, you will find all of us. We can all still play together. You do not have to be a member of the English speaking players guild to be able to play with us. You can play us, right? Play with us. Only if you want to be part of the guild in the game, then it's only open to the subscribers and regulars. So subscribers will have a permanent membership in the guild. Regulars will have a guaranteed active spot. What it means is basically like, if you are AFK for 7 days without any notice or whatever, it may lead to kicking. But subscribers will have permanent place, and you can become a regular in the channel when you create 1,000 Lupion seals by just watching and lurking in the channel. Yeah. So you do not have to pay me any money. You do not have to give. You can still be a member of the English speaking players guild if you really want to, by just supporting the channel. Just sit and watch and lurk in the channel, and you will collect Lupions, and eventually when you reach 1,000, you can become a member of the English speaking players guild. So a shortcut way for it is if you donate 3,000 in-game gold to the channel, which I will use for random gold giveaways. That way you can support the channel as well, and you can become a member of the ESP as well. Now, if there are more than 30 members, subscribers and regulars, then the current idea is that I will play a second character, because each character can set up a guild. So I will set up ESP 2, 3 and so on, and then so the rest will be able to join into the guild. Yeah. If we are able to upgrade the guild to allow 100 members or whatever, then everyone will still join the main English speaking players guide. And if it gets full, again, that is the current plan, to play a second character and set up a new guild. So which also means that if you are playing more than one character in OBT, one of your character can be in the English speaking players guild, and another one of your character can be in some other guild, or you might want to set up your own guild. So that is possible as well. Yeah. So if you want to join the guild next time, you press this alternate U. This will be amended in the PDF file. You type ESP here, and you should be able to find ESP and then my name, and then you just click this thing to apply to join the guild. Please only request this if you are a regular or subscriber. Yeah. Now let's talk about crafting gear, upgrading gear. We're going to do a lot of this thing, right? So once we hit level 50, we can easily create a 260 level item level just by using our life skill to harvest the materials needed to craft the gear. So for example, when you go to one of the artisan to craft this gear, right? So these raw materials, so for example, in order to craft this hat, you need these two raw material, right? So you see the magnifying glass icon there. If you click on it, it will actually show this thing, the thing that you need in order to craft this green metal, you know. So what you need is this green rock and one more of this thing, which you can just buy from the some vendor. So this green rock, where you get it from is from this level 3 rocks that you will find in the open world. Now again, if you remember your the life skill, in order to successfully harvest level 3 rock, you have to have your rank in life skill level should be level 3, either 2 points from 2 rank from points, and then use a green glove, or 1 rank from points and a blue glove. So as long as you have the 3rd rank, then you should be able to harvest this rock for to get this green rock, right? And combining them together will give you this this green bar metal. Same thing goes with this cloth, this purple cloth. You need to harvest this level 3 using the plant gathering skill, and buy this thing from the vendor and combine them together to make this purple cloth, and together each of these thing will enable you to make one purple color special 200 level hat. So then you just repeat it for the rest of the equipment: weapon, chest, armor, pants, gloves, and everything, right? So next, there is also a level of armor from the Platinum Field series, right? So there is a content called the Platinum Fields, which we look at it later at page 68, where when you do that Platinum skill, you will get items, these items. So by combining them together, you can actually craft a set of this Platinum Field series at level 270. And then the cool thing about the Platinum Field series is you can just place all these 6 270 level item and then get these 2 additional material by doing Platinum series content, and then just craft one whole set equipment. So you will get this level 2 chest. When you open this chest, you will actually get all 6 items falling out of one chest, right? So this is another way to craft one complete set of items, including the weapon. So this is called the Platinum Field series equipment. So you can all the way upgrade it up to level 9 in the Platinum series. So I think each of these goes up by 10 levels. So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, you'll go up to 300 plus level here, all by just doing Platinum series content. Now, once you're strong enough to do Guardian raids and Field Boss raids, you can also craft set items from these materials that you collect. Yeah, so this is the raid gear set. As you can see, it goes up all the way to 510 level. Yeah, and these are from the Field Boss series, which goes all the way to up to 525. Yeah, so these are like various materials that you get from the successful Guardian raids, combined with some material from life skill, will enable you to craft these legendary gears. Yeah, so that is basically the gear progression. You start by crafting some normal gear from the material that we harvest, upgrade them to be able to do Platinum Field series, or you can jump straight to the Guardian Raid series by doing contents like Chaos Dungeon and so on. So you basically need to be around level 350 in order to start doing these Guardian Raids. So these are the higher level tier of gears. Now let's talk about grinding or upgrading our equipment. The Korean translated word for this was grind, so I'm going to use grind. So to grind our item, we will need this thing, this blue crystals called akrasium. The Korean word for it is akrasium, so let's call it akrasium. So you need some akrasium. You get them by doing Chaos Dungeon, Guardian Raids, some Eponas requests, which we'll talk about later. And you can also get it, most of the time you'll get it when you salvage level 300 purple items. So what you got to do is just open this punhe from your inventory. You will open up this box. You can even click this green, blue and purple buttons, which will transfer all the these colored items into the decompose box here, and then you click this thing. It's called decompose in Korean. So you decompose it or salvage it, and you will get some akrasium in your inventory like this. So once you have some akrasium, find a craftsman. In final CBT, the craftsmen to grind our equipment is in Lutran, Atatin and Bern. So find them, and once you place your item there, it will automatically show how many of the various akrasium you need. So akrasium, just like runes, also have 4 to 5 levels of it, and it will show how many you need over here. So once you place it here, if you have enough of it, just click this to grind it, and it will grind, and then this will appear. So every grind of the purple items in final CBT, it will increase by 5 levels. So you see that Mugi Kongyok Leok, this is damage of the weapon increases, and the main stat, strength and health, also increases, right? So you can then keep on grinding it from level 1 to level 2. There are 5 levels altogether, so you can grind a weapon up to 5 level max every item. Yeah. Now level 3 and 5 will unlock an additional skill effect. So for that you will need this extra item, this material, and so when you grind it, the level 3 bonus will be unlocked. This bonus is basically a bonus to one of your skill. Damage is straightforward, damage increased by how many percent? Max is 5%, I think, right? So again, when you grind it from level 4 to level 5, you will need another one of these items, and now you notice that you will have 2 effects now. The second level 5 one is 10% damage increase. So you have to grind all your weapons up to level 5 to maximize the potential of it. Now there is one event called Taesangkong, means great success. That happens like when you grind a weapon, any of the items, from level 1 it goes straight to level 3. It jumps 2 levels, right? And this is without additional material. So it's luck, pure luck, right? I don't know what is the percentage for this thing, but you can get it as well, right? So notice that it jumped from level 1 star to all the way to 3 stars straight away, and the bonus is also unlocked, right? So when you are grinding everyone, keep on saying Taesangkong, Taesangkong, Taesangkong to get a chance to upgrade the item. So the level 3 and 5 bonus, you can also re-roll it to something else if you are not using that particular skill, or you want to increase the chance, right? So for example, in this weapon, this was the bonus at level 5. So you go to an artisan or craftsman, place it. You will need one of these items called Worthy Hammer. You can get this by doing again various contents, from quests to even some card battles, which we will talk later, and you will get them. So you need one to every time to reroll something. So when you reroll it, random skills appear with random percentage. Then you can just select one that you want, and then that will be changed to the one that you want, right? So that's how you reroll the bonus damage on the weapons. Now notice that you can also reroll the secondary stat in most of your equipment. When you reroll them, the total points will still be the same, but the various categories of it will change. So you can keep on re-rolling it. It will cost you some shilling every time you re-roll until you get this thing. When this tree there appears, it means the maximum possible value of this stat. So re-roll it until you get that. Now an interesting point here, notice that this chest armor is level 370 and this amulet is also 370, but notice that the secondary stat for the amulet is even higher, right? So get yourself a really nice amulet. Next is runes. We will get various runes after level 50, which we can socket into our equipments to enhance the properties of the equipment. Now there are 4 colors of runes and 4 kinds of slots as well, so you can only slot in the same color rune into that same color socket. So the red color one is to increase basic stats, strength, agility. The green one is to increase resistance. The blue one is to increase damage type to particular type of monsters like human, undead. And the purple one is for resistance. There's also a white one which you can slot in any rune that you want, right? Now there is another thing here, that it's an advanced version of each of these runes called the Chengpok version, which basically doubles the effect of the rune. So let's say if you slot in a rune that gives you strength plus 10, in the Chengpok version of the slot, it will automatically double it to 20. Right, so that's something to notice. So for example, like some items might have just 1 slot, some items have 2 slots, some items have 3 slots. So only one of these slot can be Chengpok. Yeah, so re-roll them. So I will explain about that now. So let's say and then the slots are usually locked and sometimes it's not locked, right? So if it is not locked, for example, this particular item, it's blue color, so when you click on that blue color slot, the system will automatically show you the types of blue color runes that you have, which you can slot into this rune, right? Now if the slot is locked, you need to unlock it first using this item. So this item in Korean is called Hegemsok, and we will call it that as well, Hegemsok. Hegemsok as well, there's a few levels of Hegemsoks, which you need to unlock various different categories of the gear. Now how to get this Hegemsok is by doing again various quests, some treasure maps, from some chest you will get it. The most straightforward way to get it is to do a content called the Red Chaos Gate event. There are various colors of Chaos Gate event, which we'll get into later. The red one will give you this Stone of Madness, and this Stone of Madness you can exchange it for this Hegemsok chest, and when you open this chest you will get Hegemsok. So place your item into the at the craftsman to unlock the slot, and when you click on this thing, it will automatically show you the various Hegemsoks that you have in your possession. Now I want you to notice something here. So this particular glove is level 400. So in order to unlock this, you will need Hegemsok level 400, which will have 100% chance of unlocking this slot, right? So higher level Hegemsoks can have 100% chance to unlock lower level items, but if you are going to use a lower level Hegemsok to unlock a higher level item, then the chance of success drops. Yeah, so you can still do it, but if it fails, you will lose the Hegemsok, but the item is not damaged. So you can still try it, right? But ideally you want to use the same level Hegemsok to unlock your item. So once it's unlocked, it will unlock it into a random color of the slot, which we can then use it to slot. For example, if this is a purple slot, you can slot in a purple rune into it. Now rune again have various levels of rune, again 1 2 3 4 up to 5. I've seen up to level 6 rune. Yeah, so in this example, this glove is item level 380. So if I'm not mistaken, you will need a rune level 4 in order to socket into it successfully, right? So in this example, however, this person is trying to use a rune level 2 to put into this slot, right? So you see the chance of successfully putting in this rune drops, no? So if you so happen to have that you do not have higher level runes with you, and you want to socket lower level runes, you can use this magic powder to increase the chance of successfully placing this rune into this socket, right? You can place up to 99 magic powder. Now how do you get this magic powder is basically just decomposing any unused runes that you have using that same method in your inventory box. Yeah, so just put it in, increase it as much as you can, and then click this Huagin confirm to try to slot in the thing. Now if you fail, you lose the rune but the item is not damaged, right? So ideally again you want to socket the same level of rune into as the item level. You can also change the color of the socket if you do not want, and you have to use this in case like some items you have three slots. Remember, you want to convert one of these to the Chengpok slot so that you get double effect. Yeah, so just place it there and click on this thing, and it will show you the possible slots that it can change to, and then when you click on it, it will change to some random color runes. So for example, like this purple change to green. If you do not want this green, you can keep on re-rolling it until you get the color that you want. So, and I have prepared a quick reference for you to see. Let's say if you get a rune and some Korean words on it, you can come to this page, rune quick word reference, to see what is this rune and what it's used for. So I hope this will be useful. Let's cover ability stones polishing now. These things, when we got it in final CBT, I had no idea what to do with it. Man, completely messed it up. But now I know exactly what to do with it, and I'm going to tell you how to do this, right? So along the adventure, we will get this a lot of these ability stones. After level 30, you can equip this ability stones into your character profile. Now, but first you have to polish it. Now, polishing it it's fun, and it can be frustrating, right? So when you get an ability stone and you go to the craftsman to polish it, you need to click on these slots, empty slots. Now when you click on these empty slots, you will get either a hit or a miss, right? And then there's a chance of you getting a hit or a miss. Now these two levels on top here will give you all blue stones, and the bottom level here it will be red stone. So the blue stones give you plus stat, the red stones will give you minus stat. And then if you miss, it will place a black stone on. It will place a black stone there. Let me show you how it looks like. This is the black stone, right? It will place a black stone there. So every time you get a positive hit, for example, let's start with this thing, right? So when we click on this thing, when we get a hit, blue stone, notice that the chance of getting a hit goes down by 10%. So now 65%, right? So second hit, it goes down again to 55%. Third hit, it goes down to 45%. So it'll keep on going down until the most minimum is 25%, right? So now when we click again, now this is a miss, a black stone, right? Miss. So the chance now goes back up to 55%, and so on, right? Now, ideally, you want all hits on these two levels, and you want all miss on these two levels. So when the chances are high, you want to click on these two, the top ones. When the chances are low of getting a hit, you want to click here so that it misses. You want all black stones on the bottom here, right? So like, but this is still pure RNG. For example, like, look at this thing. It's 25% and it's still getting a hit, right? So it happens. So you need to be polishing a lot of stones in order to get a really nice good one, right? So you can also buy this ability stones from some vendors by paying some gold. And if you have the life skill, archaeology life skill, you can actually make your own ability stones, which we'll talk about later, right? So now there's another thing here. If you were to get a certain number of hits, then an additional bonus locks here, right? So in this example, if there is 9 positive hits, then this thing unlocks, which is Kongyok Suddo, which is attack speed. You get another 3% attack speed. Yeah, and also notice another thing. Yeah, these purple color stones have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stats. 6 chance of you to increase stats. The legendary ones will have 7 stats for you to increase your stat. Yeah, so get a nice legendary stone next time. And I've provided a quick reference for what are the various Korean words in the ability stone means. From my experience in the final CPT, it's only these few attributes that comes out in the ability stone. So use this for a quick reference. Engraving in final CVT, I was getting a lot of these books early in the adventure, and when you click on them, nothing happens. Like, what the hell is this for? Total mystery in final CVT. But now I fully know how it works, so I'm going to explain it to you so that you don't make the same mistakes. Yeah, so these engravings are things that we can, it's an effect that we can put on our rings only, which will give us some additional power, right? So this will only be start when we at Bern, the city of Bern, towards the later part of the adventure, and after level 50, after we talk to this NPC named Rai, and she will give us our first engraving book. So right click on it, and then when you press Control alternate I, it will open this Kagin Hyokwa engraving effect window, and then you can click Hwagin here to confirm to learn the engraving knowledge. So some of this engraving will need more than just one book for you to complete the learning process. So once you finish, you just click on the button there. Then how do you engrave it? Yeah, so you go to an engraver and place your ring there. And if it already has an engrave, it will show in this blue color. If it does not, it's like empty like this. So then you can select if all the engraving knowledge that you have already studied will appear here. You can sort them by various categories on top here, which is all normal, class of physics, and life skills. So there are different kinds of engraving here. And you will also need this tool called Kagin Toku engraving equipment, which you can get from some quests, you can buy from some vendors, and also win from some card battles, right? So place them there and then click on this thing, and it will add the effect of that effect that I've selected into your ring. Now we don't know whether you can overwrite an already earlier engraved effect into another one, so we need to test this in OBT. But engraving is expensive, man. Look at that, 20,000. Yeah, so always save your shilling for these kind of things. For the ability stone polishing earlier, instead of using shilling, you can use Lupion seals. So I highly recommend you use Lupion seals for ability stones polishing, and keep your shillings for this kind of thing. Now I would like to highlight one document created by this community member called Meldas. He has done an awesome job of translating all the engravings and their various effects into this document, which is awesome. I'm going to refer to this as well when I play OBT. I will put a link below in the description to this file so that you can go and check it out yourself. And I would like to thank Meldas for this awesome document. Thanks. So guys, these are the endgame contents now that we're going to talk about. So first of all, there are these quest dungeons, right? So when you go to a quest dungeon, this thing appears, and there's usually normal mode or hard mode. I recommend always doing it in a hard mode so that you get better items. Yeah. So normal mode, you'll get some items. Hard mode, you get better items. And also you'll see these two buttons down there, right? So the first one here is called matching. Apply for matching. So if you are adventuring alone, you're not in a party, you can click this thing, and whoever arrives at the dungeon there will then be partied up with you, and then you can go in. Maximum 4% can go into a dungeon, right? So if you're already in a party, you can just click and you will straight away go. Now if you do not want to go in a party, you want to do the challenge alone, you can click on this second button here, enter alone, and you will go to the dungeon and do it alone. I highly recommend doing it in a party. It's just so much more efficient and faster, right? So these are quest dungeons. And then from time to time, while we're playing, suddenly this message will appear in the screen. So this means some chaos gate has opened somewhere in the world, right? So if you open up your map, you will see this purple icon appearing. Purple, or it could be different color of a gate. Remember earlier that we talked about Hegemsok, it was the red gate, right? So there are 5 different gates that opens. Now when you go enter this thing, you will get very different kinds of colors of crystals when you complete this chaos gate event. So and the cool thing is that in a chaos gate event, only 30 people can go into one gate. So you need to be the first of the 30 people who can enter the gate, and then you will get in, right? So the contents here is quite difficult. You need maximum 30 people to take down some of the bosses. And it's a fun thing, right? So whenever if you see this thing appearing somewhere on the continent that you're in, rush to it, go in, preferably the red one, so that you can get in you can get more Hegemsoks out of it. So that is the Chaos Gate event. Next we have Chaos Dungeon, and in Final CBT, this was what a lot of players used to quickly upgrade their gear. So this Chaos Gate was in 3 cities in Final CBT, in Lutheran, Artetin, and Bern. So this again is best done in a group of 4. Life potion is allowed in this Chaos Gate event. If you die during the boss fight, so there'll be some normal mobs, and there'll be a boss at different stages inside it. If you die in a boss fight, it will push you back into the back part of the map, and you'll have to wait for your party members to kill the boss in order for you to continue, right? So, and this Chaos Gate event, it has different levels, right? You need to be in this particular gear level to be able to enter this Chaos Dungeon. And the cool thing is, it shows you here what are the reward in store once you complete this Chaos Gate. So there might be some changes to this in OBT, because players were upgrading their equipment fast in final CBT. So let's see what happens in OBT. But we will be doing this content a lot, I guess, in the OBT. Next is this Guardian raid. These are the ultimate endgame contents, guys. These are really tough fights, and it's timed as well. It must be completed in 20 minutes, and we cannot die a lot as well. Maximum is only 3 death is only allowed in a party. The 4th death will fail the raid. And another thing is health potion is not allowed. Your limited battle items are allowed. So it's really good to have a bard in a party for some heals when we do this thing. So in a final CBT, we saw these guardians. Many people were able to complete this first 4 guardians, and then there are a few levels of these guardians, right? And notice that the life potion is locked here, no? So, and this is the number of death allowed. So if your party fails, so the cool thing about these guardian raids is you will not know what is the health of the guardian until you either kill it or the entire party dies, and then on the death message you will show how much percentage life that your party managed to reduce, right? So it's a really cool content that we'll be doing a lot in the OBT. Now then there was so this is the second level of the guardian. Once you manage to complete the first level of the 4 guardian, the second level unlocks, and these are even tougher guardians. You need to really upgrade your equipments to be able to take them on. But when you defeat them, you will get materials for higher level equipment crafting that we saw earlier, right? Notice this thing, guys. The item requirement level is 680. I've seen in crafting that you can craft up to maximum 525 level items, you know? So I have no idea how we are going to do these contents, but even the item requirement level is 680. So there's a lot of Lost Ark to play in the future, guys. So these are the rewards that you can get, and including some engraving books and some runes. So this option here, weekly guardian raid. Weekly guardian raid. I'm not sure why they're calling it weekly guardian raid, but that's how the Korean word translates to. To enter this weekly guardian raid, you will need this ticket to enter it. You will get this by doing some quest again, and also some card battles. You can win this, right? So we are looking forward to try this in OBT. So Shilian's command is a unique item that we get as part of adventure, and we can also get it on some card battles. And from the latest announcement, we can also buy this from the cash shop, it seems. So what this Shilian's command allows you to do is some unique contents that you have to find this table in the city of Lutran, Athentin, or Bern, and you activate it with G. Now once you click on it, various options open, right? And one of the first option is this thing. It's called the Tower of Shadow. This is an awesome content. It's a solo content. You must do this alone. This is for you to test how good is your equipment alone. Yeah. Now you have to fight 50 floor up. Each time you clear a floor, then you go to the next floor, and each floor will give you a unique reward. Now the thing is, life potion is not allowed here, and there's no changing of equipment on a scale once the battle starts, right? So you can use some medicine and some protection paper while you're inside here. Now here I have, below this page here, I have actually listed down what you need to do in order to complete certain difficult floors, right? But I've read that I heard that some people do not want to know this. They want it to be a complete surprise when they play it for the first time. So if you're one of them, do not read anything below this red caution, so that it's a challenge for you. Yeah. So I'm going to skip to page 65 so that it does not appear on the video, right? So now once you manage to complete Tower of Shadow, level 50, then you can play Tower of Fate, right? So Tower of Fate will have even more awesome items. But in order to even attempt the Tower of Fate, you need to be at level 410 to be able to attempt this thing. And then the next content that we are going to do a lot is called the Cube. It's a unique content where we should do this in a party. there are various stages in a cube, and there are lucky and unlucky condition in each of the stage. When we clear a stage, we'll get some points, and we need to accumulate the points to get various different chests at different grades. So when we reach point 250, we'll get a bronze chest, and then a silver, gold chest, platinum chest, and finally the diamond chest, right? Now this is the most awesome, this is the content that we need to do in order to get a lot of gold, right? So this is some guide on how much gold you can get, and I'm looking forward to do this with you guys in OBT. Now once we have completed the diamond cube chest, we can then do the elite cube. However, to do the elite cube, all our equipment needs to be at least level 600 in order for us to attempt this. I guess we'll get a lot more gold here, who knows, right? So this is another content that I'm looking forward to try in OBT with you guys. Then we also have this corridors of trial. This is another awesome unique content where we fight waves after waves of only elites, no regular mobs. So all those elites that we meet throughout our adventure will appear here, and this is a really tough challenge. Again, no life potions are allowed, only battle medicine, limited battle medicine. So you really need a bard in this if you're going to survive in this corridors of trial, and it's going to be awesome. We will do a lot of this thing. So once we complete this, we will accumulate these things called the Antares coins, and we can exchange these Antares coins for various items from this Diana, who's usually just beside that table thing, right? Now along with those things, we also use Shilian's command for this unique adventure called the Platinum Fields, right? So there are two categories of Platinum Fields. One is called the Renowned Forest, and the other one is called Yudia's Ancient Waterway. So in Renowned Forest, as you guys know, there are 6 types of life skill. So in Renowned Forest, we use we need harvesting, mining, and tree cutting, right? So in final CBT, I did not see anyone do this in a party, but I guess we can do this in a party because it's impossible to do everything alone. So it's something that we really need to try in OBT in a group, and this Platinum Fields gives awesome the highest level of harvesting, life skill harvesting items. Yeah, so we'll attempt that, and there's something here that you need to read, and in the PDF version of it. So just that those two things, Ancient Waterways and Yudia's Ancient Waterway and Renowned Forest in this Platinum Field. Also, when you complete certain quests in this Platinum Field, you will get these coins, Platinum Field coins. Again, you can use you use these Platinum coins to buy this thing. If you remember the crafting equipment part, these are the items that you need in order to craft the Platinum series of equipment. So this is how you get it, by doing the Platinum Fields. Now this field boss fight is one of the awesome contents that I enjoyed in the final CBT. So what it is that from certain time of the day at certain location in Lost Ark, the world of Lost Ark, these field bosses will appear, and you will need 30 people to take down the field boss. So the cool thing is the game automatically spawns many different channels, so each channel can have a maximum of 30 people, right? And out of these 30 people, I think it's confirmed now, you need to be added the top 3 or the top 5 DPS contributors that took down the Guardian. And if you're one of those 3, and with some luck, you're going to get some of these legendary item drops from the Guardian, either an engraving book, legendary crafting material, legendary items, or a high level rune, right? Now if you're not the top DPS contributor, the cool thing is that you can steal get legendary items, because there an auction will automatically start right after the fight ends, right? And if you have enough gold with you, you can bid for this item and still get some legendary items, even if you're not the top DPS contributor. So this is a really cool stuff, you know. Now, even if you did not win the auction, whoever won the auction at whatever price they paid, that gold that they paid will be distributed to all the participants who took part in that fight. So this is another awesome way for you to earn some gold. Again, I like to remind you that in my channel there's this Lupion currency that I've implemented. If you've been sitting in my channel and accumulate Lupion currencies, Lupions, whenever there's a gold giveaway, if you win it, I'll give you gold, and you can use that gold to bid on these legendary items as well. Now, one thing I would like to share here is that this item, when you take part in this particular field boss fight, Soul Grunt, he will sometimes drop this thing, SG7s. I got a few of these things. I was wondering what to do with this thing, right? Finally, it turns out that there's one NPC named Sasha in Arthurtine. You can go to her, and she's the only NPC who will exchange it for some really cool items for you from the Soul Grunt fight. So anyway, I'm looking forward in OBT to do these field boss fights with you guys. It's gonna be awesome. PvP. I did not do much PvP in final CBT because I really did not understand much of it at that time, but I've studied it enough to give you some assistance. It's something that I'm looking forward to try in OBT. So there are 3 types of PvP contents: 3 versus 3, or 1 versus 1 3 times with your teammates. Yeah. So now, as you take part in more PvP fights, you will accumulate points, and you will go up in these grades. Each grade that you go up unlocks these PvP sentences, they call it, right? Now, these sentences gives you various buffs only in PvP fights. You need to you can equip 3 of these victory sentences into a sentence set. Well, you can only use 3 of it at a time. There are some legendary ones as well, which you can get by doing some quest. Now, notice that the victory sentences go into different slots, different size of slot, different shape of the slot. Yeah. Now, if you want to re-roll this slot to use a different sentence, for example, right, you know, this particular set, you can't use one of these legendary PvP sentence, victory sentence. So you need to re-roll this thing to have this shape. So how you re-roll that is by clicking on this button, and you need to have this item in order to do the re-roll, right? So you have, if you have this thing, you can click this thing and keep on re-rolling the slots until you get the type of slots that you want. How do you get this thing is when you keep on when you fight in, if you win PvP fights, you will get these PvP tokens, and you can just exchange it, exchange the tokens for this item from the vendor near the Coliseum, right? So it's a cool content that I've not tried, but I'm looking forward to try. Now, I would like to highlight one thing here. There are many different, as you notice, there are many different contents in Lost Ark, and there are many ways you can upgrade your gear. You can go for Guardian fights, you can go for field boss raids, you can just do life skill in Platinum Fields. And this one, if what you like is PvP, you can just keep on doing PvP and accumulate 900 PvP points, these tokens, and exchange it for a legendary PvP gear, which looks like this, right? So this legendary PvP gear is level 395, which you can grind it further up to level 400 plus, right? So I'm looking forward to do this and get this set as well. So I'll meet you in PvP Coliseum, guys. Now let's talk about some other activities to do in Lost Ark other than just fight all the time. So there's this thing called the medal quest, which is very, again, another unique content, right? And this can only be unlocked at burn after you do a few steps. You need to find this medal grandfather at the one corner of the map, and you need to talk to the medal grandfather select answer 1, 2, and then run to the center of burn and look for this fella called the Delightful Adventure, and you have to select answer 4, 3, 2, and then run in the direction of 2 o'clock from him, and you will see Metal Grandfather again. Talk to him, and then the medal quest will be unlocked, and then you have to do all these within 1 minute 20 seconds, and no skills are allowed, so you need to run and use spacebar to dash and to get it unlocked. If you fail, you can always try it again, right? It's not a problem. So then these medal quests are continent specific, so every continent that you go, every different map that you go, the medal grandfather will be there somewhere. You need to go and talk to him, and you can select the quest that you want to do. So this is best done again in a group, in a group, right? And each of these quests will have different timings for you to complete it, and the earlier you manage to complete it, like for example this one, you need to complete it within 2 minutes 20 seconds, you will get the highest medal point, which is 50 per quest, right? Now all these medal points that you collect, you can then exchange it for really cool items, right? Including additional life skill points and combat skill points, along with the potions that increases the tendency, some cards, right? So this is going to be another interesting activities that we will do in a party in OBT, and I'm looking forward to do this with you guys. So then we come to the treasure map. So along the adventure you will get a lot of these treasure maps. It's so fun to do. When you open up a treasure map, when you reach the place where the treasure map is, you know, this is how it appears. You can open it up. The most important thing is that to share the treasure map with your party members by clicking this thing, and then so the party members, everyone can look at it and figure out where to go to hunt for this treasure. Now lower level treasure map will actually give you an X on where to hunt for the treasure. The higher level maps does not even show where, it just shows a general location, right? And those legendary treasure map will even have the map turned, you know, so we need to really hunt down these things. But it's a really awesome content. There was an NPC in CBT2 who can exchange lower level maps to higher level map. We saw him on the first day, but then he was removed on the second day onwards. So he is one guy that I'm really looking forward to in OBT to find in Lutheran Library, right? So let's look for him. Now another quest is called an Epona's request. This is like a daily quest, right? So if you see here, per day you can only do 3 of this quest. You cannot do a lot of it, right? So you need to select which quest you want to do per day. It will show various rewards that you can get by completing this quest. Now when you do Epona's request, you will also accumulate reputation, right? And this reputation will also allow you to get some additional items, including combat skills, right? So so select what are the things that you want to do per day, every day. This will be like a daily activity. When you log into Lost Talk for that day, check Epona's request, see which ones you want to do, and do 3 of those quests. And I'm looking forward to do this with you guys as well, because this again is best done in a group for it to be most efficient. This card battle is something that I did not get a chance to play a lot in Final CBT, but having seen a lot of videos after that, this looks really fun, and I'm providing a complete guide on how to play this thing. I hope they do not change this thing, but this is how it goes. So each NPC that you meet to do card battles will have these 4 levels of challenge here, and we will get these cards as part of some quest. You can also buy these cards from one of the vendor in a place called Ship of Paradise, right? Now the main thing about this card battle is this chart you need to remember. It's simple. Fire defeats earth, earth defeats lightning, lightning defeats water, water defeats fire, and darkness defeats all of it, and light defeats darkness. Simple as that. So when you do a card battle, you will see what is the element on that card, and the NPCs that you fight with usually do not change their card sequence, so you can just rearrange your cards to set a set to defeat them. Then there are legendary NPCs like Shilian. They will only fight with their own cards, so every time you win they will use a higher level version of their cards, right? So you can use many different cards in order to take down their one card. Now if you defeat them, you will get this card as a reward. Now you need to be upgrading your card regularly in order to increase your power. So how you upgrade this is just placing it on the right hand side and then drag and drop whatever cards that you're not using. Right now each of this card will give this skill points here, these points here. As long as you max it out, then you click on this thing, and then you need to have this item to unlock the special powers of the card, right? So for example, like this Hell Gaia card have 3 levels of it, so you need different level of cubes again to unlock these special effects, right? This item again, you will just win it in card battles. As you do more card battles, you will get this item and use this to keep on upgrading your card, have maximally upgraded card. So in Final CBT we could only duel with NPCs. In OBT we might be able to duel with each other, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Yeah, so this favorability is another content that I really like. It's a way for us to get close to some of the NPCs in Lost Star, and we do that by giving them some gifts, by playing some music to them and express some emotions to them, and then we'll receive a unique quest. So now delivering gifts, people were confused in Final CBT. Some of the gifts you can give multiple amount of it. I found out that the max is only 5, so don't give more than 5 because it's not going to incur any more favorable response from them. So give them 5. Some of it, I think the 5 is for this blue color and green color items. The purple and the legendary ones are just one of it. Right now, for expressing emotions and playing music to them, I found that you can do this once only per meet. You can't express the same emotion again and again on the same meet. It's boring. It's not going to accomplish anything. But let's say you express it once and then you go back, go do some adventure, and then come back, then you can express it again and it will work. Same things with the music. Play them once, go back, do some adventure, come back, and you can play the same music again. Now, so once they're impressed enough with you, they will give you gift, and interestingly enough, the gift appears right here, right beside the favorability gauge. So you need to click this in order to take the thing into your inventory and then open it. Now I've watched a lot of video and prepared this this song and music collection guide, which I've not seen anywhere else, right? So you're getting it here in Koleverii's Lost Ark English guide. So these are the quests we need to do in order to get all these various music sheets, which are so awesome. Now this particular music sheet, Minuet of the Forest, is so important because a lot of times when we go to an island, when we sail to an island, there are some parts of the island that we can't enter there because it's blocked by some trees or some forest. We need to play this music called Minuet of the Forest, and then the forest opens up and we can go in and usually collect our Mokoko seed and some hidden chests there. So in OBT, guys, we will go together and get all these songs. Now some of the songs are for adventure, and these particular 2 music, right, Songs of Temptation and Twilight Requiem, is from the Adventures book from page 17. Yeah, so which is why we need to complete this adventure to get these particular 2 music sheets, but we'll do it, man. It's gonna be awesome. Auction house is a content that I did not do a lot in Final CBT, but I've since learned that this is really important for you to get more gold by selling off some things that you do not want. So I've prepared a guide here for you to sell some things and earn some more gold, which you can then use to bid in the Guardian raid that we talked earlier. or you can use it to buy some unique items that you may need in to use, for example, in contests like Tower of Shadow, where you need to buy some unique items to help you, so you can buy them from this auction house. Anything that you buy from the auction house will be delivered by mail. So once you buy something, it will not be in inventory, it will be in mail. So you need to go to the mail and check it and collect it from there. Sailing is another adventure I really enjoyed in Final CBT, and we're going to do a lot more. There are a lot more things in OBT. So we will get a ship. Shilian will give a ship once we complete the main quest. And so these are the three things that appeared in Final CBT. So as we sail around, we need to collect these ship parts. Right? There are 8 ships in Final CBT, but we were able to use only 3 of them. And from what we read in Risha's letter, it's going to be more difficult to get these ships this time around. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. So the main thing about it, in Final CBT, we need to upgrade the ships to do some sea adventure. It seems they're changing it to the crew, so we need to get a lot more crew. In Final CBT, they had some locked position like this thing for specialized crew. Now they are removing this thing. We can add more regular crew to this slot, but there are some specialized crew like this Tasha that will only serve in a particular ship called, like it in this case is Estoke. She can only serve in the Estoke ship, which is this first ship. So we will be getting a lot more crews. There are many ways to get crews. Some from Pirate Coin, some from Mokoko Seed, some from Medal Quest, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be doing all kinds of adventure, guys. So now this is something that I didn't know early in the Final CBT, but then I learned out this is really convenient. Once we have sailed to a continent, then the next time we want to go from a continent to a continent, we do not have to sail in our own ship. We can use this ocean liner, right? The only thing is it's expensive. So this again another reason you don't spend your shilling by buying armor or equipment or anything. Use Lupion seals to exchange for them. Keep all your shillings because we might need it for this sailing content to use the liner. So whenever you want to use a liner, go and find this guy Rip by Dockside. You will see him. You will see him in this icon, and just talk to him, and he will show the prices of where to go. So